So I literally just got off the road we went and watched Caleb and his team play baseball about an hour and a half from here. Not in North Carolina, but it was in Virginia, but it was close enough that we got to go watch. And that was a lot of fun. But just watching them, I just wanted to make a video finally about why I love baseball so much and why I think you should too, in all honesty. It's gonna be good. So a friend of mine gave me a San Cristobal Revelation, and this thing is a hoss. I don't know the ring gauge, but it's a hoss. Maybe the biggest one I've ever smoked, and I'm going to enjoy every bit of it. So if you've ever watched Field of Dreams, then you kind of know the story where it gets to the point where James Earl Jones gives the famous, awesome speech about baseball. And it's very nostalgic, very feel good, but very true. Baseball it's been something that ties America's history together. Now listen, I know a lot of what I'm going to say. A lot of people could say, well, that's true about any sport. That's true about any sport. Maybe so, but I grew up loving baseball, being part of baseball in every aspect. Married a girl who loves baseball, loves being at baseball games as much or more than I do. And now a son who is still involved and has always honestly loved it on his own. But here's what I'll say. When we started college ministry, we had a lot of international students who were phenomenal soccer players. Excellent soccer players. And whenever they would come to our the ministry, they'd always say, I don't get baseball. Why do you like baseball? It's so boring. Like that's the number one complaint. Baseball's so boring. And I'd always challenge them. I tell you what, come to a baseball game with me. Let me walk you through what I'm thinking, what I see, and see if you don't enjoy it more after that. So a lot of them took me up on it. And they already had in their mind, man, this isn't as fast-paced as soccer, or why don't you say this about American football or basketball? And here's the thing. I love sports. I love to watch any sport. But when I watch football, especially college football, bro, I get into it, like intense. Even when I watch March Madness basketball, like I get into it. And when I would go watch those guys play soccer, very easy to get into. But baseball is a little different. Baseball to me is the most relational, enjoyable sport that you could ever attend and make memories. Because there's fast-paced, and then in between innings, it stops. And you have time to share a drink or share a hot dog or some popcorn, conversation, the whole game with whoever you went to the game with. And that made so many great memories for me and my friends and those college students and my family, especially me and my son, to go to a baseball game. And it takes a long time to get through a baseball game. But to be able to enjoy the action and once you learn the game, know what's going on, you kind of get into it, and you realize there's a lot more going on. It's harder than you think. But then to be able to share that much time relationally with someone while you're experiencing the action part of it at the same time. And I know a lot of people, well, I could do that at a football game. I could do that at a basketball game. Yes, but if it's a great game and you're into it, you're not going to. Like, you're just going to be, and a lot of people are like, that's why I go watch sports, because I'm into it. Granted, I give you that. I just love those moments. And I'm so nostalgic. I love everything around it. And when they play on fresh grass, now a lot of it's turf, but when you smell fresh cut grass, just the smells and the sounds of a baseball stadium, it's just different. And because I grew up with a dad who loved that, I have those memories cherished in my soul with him over a sport called baseball. And he always taught me the fact that he loved that I was so involved in baseball was because it taught you how to be a man. And I never really understood that until I had a son. And I realized so much of baseball, you have to deal with so much failure, so much unfairness, so much bad hops, bad calls, strikeouts. Like, if you got 10 at bats and you are in the major league and you hit 3 great hits, then you're batting a 300 average and have the potential to possibly go into the Hall of Fame. Now, a lot of people would say, well, that's crazy. Like, that sounds like everybody should be in the Hall of Fame. Until you try to hit a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, round ball on a round bat, and you realize this is really hard. But to say, hey, I got to learn how to fail 7 times and keep getting up to do this again, to keep loving this and to keep the challenge in my mind. Hey, all right, you got the best of me. I'm coming at you. Let's see what happens next time, Hoss. Me and you, in mano a mano. Throw it in here. And he always would just encourage me in those ways. When I'd have a bad day, especially when I was young, you get so mad or you get beat, and man, he would walk me through those moments. Hey, that's part of life. It's all right. Don't you worry about that. I remember one time I was pitching. They let me pitch for a little while. I thought had me a little curveball, and boys, I blew it up one night. Like, I walked in. I walked 3 batters, and I think I walked a couple more. They scored like 2 or 3 runs off my walks, and the coach wasn't taking me out, and I was just a nervous wreck. I just wanted to go hide. Well, it's Little League. And I'll never forget, he came out to the mound and he said, well, Matt, I think you're done for tonight. He said, let me tell you the good news. Nobody could touch your stuff tonight. And I said, Coach, what are you talking about? He said, listen, not even our catcher could touch it. You did great. Let's build on this and try again next week. And he made me laugh. And I just thought, wow, I just felt like the biggest fool of my young life. And here is an older guy coming toward me I thought's going to chew me out. Help me realize, hey, it's not your day, it's part of life. Let's try it again. And there were so many life lessons that I learned through playing, through helping, through being part of organizations, relationships that have lasted a lifetime. I love the game of baseball. I love it. I love sharing my faith of Jesus Christ through baseball. I love sharing correlations of the game and the gospel of Jesus Christ. And I just feel in my heart, it is the greatest relational sport ever created. And if you don't believe that, if you don't like it, Try it. I'm not saying give up college football or basketball or soccer. Not at all. But give baseball a shot with your family. If you got a family, here's what I'll suggest. One of the things we always did with Kay was, my rule was make it fun. And I always told him, let me tell you something, son. If you're going to play this game, I don't care how many times you strike out. I don't care how many errors you make. All I care is that you go out there and you give it your absolute very best effort. Like you come off the field as the dirtiest kid. Like cause you slid, you dove after balls. That's my only thing. Oh, and at first I did get on him and say, I'll only jump your case if I see that you're being lazy, not trying, or if you watch a third strike. I hate that. And that's bad parenting. Like I shouldn't have probably said that, but that was my rule. Like I don't care if you swing for the hayfield out there. If there's a close one at the end, go down swinging. So we learned that early on. And you're always going to strike out, and there'll be times when you watch that last one. But I wanted it to bother him that he watched a good pitch. So anyway, we planted that seed early. But I wanted him to know, hey, this game's going to eat you alive, and I don't care about that as your dad. I'm never going to get on to you about that stuff. But when you go out there and you have fun and you get dirty, you're going to love it. So as a family, that was kind of our rules for him playing. And whenever he got an opportunity to go somewhere out of town to play, we'd always made a rule. We're going to eat at a local place and we're going to see a local attraction if we can. And take a picture at it, whatever it is. So we always had a different slant on it. Hey, we're going to do this in a way that's fun and uplifting, and it's still a game and not hound and pound. But another thing is, man, listen, if you got little kids, now when they're older, they're going to pick their own stuff, but sit down with them, and if they get interested in it, let them pick a team and get into it as a family. Like pull for that team for at least a season. Get jerseys, make a little opening day party. Like we used to celebrate opening day. Like we would grill hot dogs and put up banners and the little red, white, and blue ribbon stuff, and we made it a holiday in our home. Just another reason to have fun in some way, to enjoy this. Every spring we would watch Sandlot together, and that's actually what got Caleb interested in baseball when he's 8 or 9. He watched Sandlot like at the beginning of a summer, and then like every day that whole summer. Kid you not, he watched it at least once a day, and fell in love with that movie. And hey, I want to play baseball. So I just encourage you, if you're not a baseball fan, to repent and get your heart right. I'm kidding, kinda. But I'd also say, man, give it a chance for enjoyment. Even if your kid don't play the game. To be able to go to a place and say, hey, for the next, like you can't go to a movie and be able to chat and talk about life and have some life talks and just make memories and take some pictures and remember them forever. Like you can do that at a baseball game. And we're almost at the beginning of the new baseball season. And man, I'm challenging, if you ever see this, you and your wife as a date, or man, you and some of your buddies, or you and your kids, like just go take in a baseball game and enjoy it for what it is, not what you think it should be, but for what it is, like just a great time. And pick a team and root for them the whole season. Name your dog after one of the players or after something baseball. Like that's just classic. Classic. It's a good cigar, y'all. Like I I like the San Cristobal Revelation. I've had a revelation today. Anyway, I know I haven't been on as much lately. Christian in Hawaii, miss you, bro. I'm watching whenever you put stuff out. I've lost 5 more pounds. Just to keep you updated on that. Thank you. Also, my guys in Oklahoma, man, love you guys, watching every week. Please update us on your lounge whenever you can. I know y'all have plans on how you want to release that information, but man, let us know when you're going to open the doors and what all is going on with that. Really interested, praying that goes awesome for you guys. So anyway, guess what? This coming weekend, going to go watch some more baseball. To me, there's no. Oh, and here's my biblical joke. I always tell when I speak to athletes, I always say, listen, God's favorite sport's baseball, and they're all like, what? And I say, he started his whole book with, in the big inning, he created. Big inning, like everybody. Have a big inning, score lots of runs, and God creates everything in a big inning. Of course, I get the dad joke laugh and the roll of the eyes. Oh, I see what you did there. But I'll stick to it. And every time I read Genesis, that's how I read it. In the big inning, God created. Anyway, just wanted to drop that. Just literally pulled up, unloaded the car, and said, listen, that's a great weekend, and I'm going to celebrate with a cigar and talk to whoever wants to hear it. I love you guys. I mean it. Go make it a great day. Play ball.